Soviet factories excel at improvisation, at making do with what's available rather than what's needed. Petrov arrives, toolbox in hand. He's nearing retirement age, with decades of experience fixing machinery that official protocols would have scrapped long ago. Again, he sighs, seeing the problem. "I'll see what I can do, but we need the new part from Kharkov." "Is there anything in the workshop we could use?" you ask, meaning, can you fabricate something that will work well enough? Petrov considers. "Maybe. Let me check what Sergei's been hoarding." He heads off toward the maintenance workshop, where Sergei, the head of maintenance, keeps his own unofficial inventory of parts salvaged from other machines or fabricated in-house. This is how things actually get done, through personal connections, unofficial channels, and creative interpretations of the rules. The formal system, with its rigid plans and centralized allocation of resources, is too slow and unresponsive to meet the daily challenges of production. So a parallel system has evolved, one that everyone participates in but nobody officially acknowledges. By noon, Petrov has the machine running again, though he warns it won't last long without the proper replacement part. You make a note to call your counterpart at the Kharkov factory. You once helped them out with some capacitors during a shortage, and perhaps they'll return the favor. The lunch break offers a brief respite. The factory cafeteria serves basic but filling food at heavily subsidized prices. Cabbage soup, kotlety, meat patties with mashed potatoes, compote to drink. Food is fuel here, not an experience to be savored. Workers eat quickly, some reading the factory newspaper.